Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle something that trips up a lot of people, the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease. You hear the words used almost interchangeably, but they are not the same thing. And understanding that difference, well, it's absolutely crucial, not just for getting the words right, but for spotting symptoms and getting the right help. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Are dementia and Alzheimer's the same thing? The short answer? No. A definite no. But the why? Well, that's where it gets really interesting. So let's break down what each of these terms actually means. Okay, so to really get this, we've got to start with the big picture. And that big picture is dementia. First things first, and this is super important. Dementia is not a specific disease. It's better to think of it as a syndrome. It's a general catch-all term for a bunch of symptoms related to a decline in mental ability that's bad enough to mess with someone's daily life. So what does this decline actually look like? Well, it can hit a whole range of our core mental functions. We're talking about memory, of course, but also things like thinking and focus, the ability to solve problems, how we use language, and even just how we perceive the world visually. And here it is. This is the simple analogy that makes it all click. Just picture dementia as a big umbrella. It's not the rain itself, right? It's the thing that covers all the different diseases, the different kinds of rain that are causing those symptoms we just talked about. Okay, so we've got this big umbrella called dementia. The next logical question is, what's hiding underneath it? Well, this is where Alzheimer's disease finally steps into the spotlight. And wow, this chart really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? While there are a bunch of different conditions under that umbrella, look at that huge slice of the pie. Alzheimer's disease accounts for about 70% of all cases. I mean, that's huge. It's the main reason these two terms get so mixed up. So you see the difference, right? Dementia is the group of symptoms. Alzheimer's, that's a specific disease that causes those symptoms. What's actually happening is that these proteins, amyloid and tau, build up in the brain, creating these things called plaques and tangles that damage brain cells and stop them from working properly. Okay, so that's the science, but what does this mean for a real person? How do these differences actually show up day to day? When you put the symptoms side by side like this, the picture becomes so much clearer. On the left, you've got those broad dementia symptoms, but on the right, you see the specific journey of Alzheimer's. It often kicks off with memory problems, but as it progresses, it can lead to really severe challenges like getting disoriented, having suspicions about loved ones, and eventually it can even impact basic physical abilities like walking or swallowing. And just to really hammer this idea home, let's take a quick peek at what else is living under that dementia umbrella right alongside Alzheimer's. I mean, look at this list. Each one of these damages the brain in its own unique way. Vascular dementia, for example, is often caused by a stroke that cuts off blood flow. Lewy body dementia, that's a whole different protein problem. But they all lead to that collection of symptoms we call dementia. It just goes to show you, Alzheimer's is one major cause, but it's not the only one. And look, getting this distinction right isn't just about being technically correct. It is absolutely crucial because it changes everything. How we look at risk, how doctors approach treatment, and what the future might hold for someone. Okay, let's bust a huge myth right now. A lot of people think getting dementia is just what happens when you get old. It's not. It is not an inevitable part of aging. But, and this is a big but, age is for sure the single biggest risk factor out there. And if you need proof, just look at these numbers. This chart is staggering. You can see how the risk of Alzheimer's just skyrockets as we get older. From 65 to 74, it's about 5%. But fast forward to age 85 and up, and it's over a third of people. 1 in 3. That's wow. So, this is the tough part. We have to be honest about where the medicine is today. For progressive dementias like Alzheimer's, we don't have a cure. And the treatments we do have can't reverse the damage that's already been done. So the focus is on something else. That focus is all about management and quality of life. It's a real team effort. You've got medications that can help ease some of the symptoms, sure, but just as important is everything else, making sure the person is safe and comfortable, using things like exercise or cognitive training, and managing other problems like anxiety or trouble sleeping. It's a whole person approach. Now, when we talk about the outlook, numbers can be tough, but they do give us some context. For a person diagnosed with Alzheimer's at age 65, the average life expectancy is about 4 to 8 more years. But, and I really want to stress this, that is just an average.
It varies so much from person to person, and some people live for 20 years or even longer after their diagnosis.
Okay, so after all of that, if you walk away with just one single thing today, please let it be this. It's so simple. All Alzheimer's is a form of dementia, but not all dementia is Alzheimer's. That's it. That is the core of this whole topic.
And that leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question. Some risk factors, like our age or our genetics, those are out of our control. But so many lifestyle factors are not. So as we look to the future, the real question for all of us is, what can each of us do to protect our most vital organ?